Hey, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to be talking about Black Hole by Eventide, or Eventide. I say Eventide because, that's just how we roll in Canada. And I always say that reverbs don't actually model a particular space. They're a hack. They're an approximation. And what would happen if you took those approximations and then just threw them out the window and exaggerated things? What if you had like a room that was, really big, but still really reflective somehow? Like if it just went against the law of physics and how sound propagates. This is basically what you get, and it's a really kind of unique plugin, and you can get some otherworldly sounds with it. Really long reverb tails, and it's very useful in, I guess, trance music. And there's a little bit of a, I guess, a trick that you can do with it that I'll show you a little bit later with the tempo. So this is Black Hole, and essentially I have a kind of a trancey thing going on. Right, increase the mix, of course. Right, pretty long decay time, but we can actually give it some, so what it can do, this is what the gravity does. So the mix is pretty self-explanatory. It's wet dry, but what the gravity does, it actually reverses the reverb tail. So, reverb tails generally go down as a sound will ring out. What gravity will do is it'll actually do this. Reverses it, which is pretty cool. You can get a really interesting sound that way. It basically, laughs at physicists and stuff like that. Size is room size. Right. And you can do stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Pre-delay is for, how long it takes for the sound to actually occur. So I'll give you contact. I'll just have it kind of mix like that. So you get kind of a delay, and then the reverb comes, making a sound a little bit bigger, and also giving your, whatever you're reverbing, a bit more space in the mix. It's not being like washed out. Right? And a pre-delay of none is, pretty interesting as well. And that's really cool is there is low and high EQ with resonance, and this is really cool. You can adjust the feedback as well. Right, and one of the things that you can do with this is, you see this little thing right here? It's like, what the heck does this do? This is a, kind of a, a modulator, I guess. And what you can do is you can select out. No, actually, we'll do, yeah, I'll just do this. I wanna modulate the size. So I just select out. Well, that's selected, and I can increase the size, which is pretty cool. So now I have control over the size. I can get some scary sounds that way. I can also, mess around with the highs as well. And do things like that. Also, what's really interesting is as you increase as you increase gravity, the dry signal pokes through in the wet signal, and I'm not sure what that's about, but it sounds pretty cool. Right, and that is pretty neat. Another thing it can do is you can modulate the pitch of it, and you can increase the rate, kind of giving it, I guess, a color. and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But you know, that is that right there. You can also freeze. Right now we can freeze that reverb. And you can do some really cool effects with that. So one of the things that you can do is you can set the size to -10. So like the room doesn't exist or something. And you can get like a really interesting, it's like you're making the sound more colored, I guess. And what you're doing now is you're essentially achieving a reverb. And this is what I was kind of doing because it's so weird. And yet we can go to sync, and the pre-delay can now be you know, set to your post tempo-ish. You can get some really interesting stuff with that. The feedback, resonance, and low and high, you can get something really interesting. Right? Stuff like that. It's a really weird plugin, but you can get some really creative effects going on with it. Stuff like that. And you can get really crazy stuff with Black Hole. And it's, yeah, one of those unique effects that I really enjoy using sometimes. And it works well on a lot of material and things like that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned stuff. Take care and have a good one.